Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 72, Text 31 onwards. So we will read the purport of almost 10 verses are there. We will read the purport of 40th chapter. So we will go through. नत्वयाभिरुणा योत्से युधि विक्लवतेजसा मथुरां स्वपुरीं त्यक्त्वा समुद्रं शरणं गतः. Translation and purport by the servants of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. But I will not fight with you, Krishna, for you are a coward. Your strength abandoned you in the middle of battle, and you fled your own capital of Mathura to take shelter in the sea. Okay. And then it goes ahead. So we'll take the we'll start with the prayers and then go ahead as we are discussing. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto. Very wonderful pastimes of the Lord Krishna. And then specifically this chapter is very interesting. So I request all the devotees, specifically the senior devotees, to bless so that we can discuss about these topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll go through this 31st to 40th verse, and then 40th verse will repeat. So now, as we were hearing last few days, both Maharajas gave very wonderful insights of this whole story. So now, Jarasandha is very delighted to fight with these three who had come in the garb of Brahmanas: Krishna, Bhima, and then Arjuna. And then they asked for bhiksha, and that bhiksha was very special bhiksha. That is, they asked for fight. Generally nobody asks bhiksha like that. That I have a request with you. What request? I want to fight with you. So that was the idea of Uddhava. And then we can see here that even Krishna takes the ideas and executes from his devotees. So how much more we should take ideas and execute of devotees. So this was the idea of Uddhava, to minimize, to almost nil the fight and then killing and so much of trouble. So that's how on the mission, all these three of them, they went to Magadha to meet Jarasandha. Jarasandha was very powerful. We can see here in this next few verses that he was not an ordinary normal person, very powerful. So here the text 31, he says that Krishna, I cannot fight with you. Why I cannot fight with you? Because you are not of match. You are lower than me. Why? Because I have already defeated you. And you are so coward that you fled in the battle. And then, so it is not of my prestige that I should fight with you. I will be defamed if I fight with you who is lesser than me, very weak-minded. So we can imagine how much Jarasandha was puffed up, how much he is so ignorant. How many times Jarasandha was defeated by Krishna? 17 times somebody has bashed you, killed everybody, millions of people with you were killed, alone you were kept alive by mercy, and then told, okay, you go. Like that it happened 17 times. 18th time Krishna did not fight, he just left. And then he is thinking that I defeated Krishna. And that's how Krishna is lesser. So we can see that height of shamelessness, height of ignorance, so much of self glory he is in, that he just can't understand even the statistics. So statistic is that 17-0, like that is the, whatever the match they had, 17 times. So the score is 17-0. And still he feels, after that last match, 18th match was drawn, because there was no fight only. He did not even ask why Krishna left. Was there any issue? he thought very comfortably that he left because of me only. Here he says also. He says here, Natvaya bhiruna yotse yuddhi viklava tejasa. That you ran away like a coward in fear of me. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that the Saraswati is sitting in his mouth and telling this. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that it was not that Krishna was fearful. He says that Jarasandha was coward. Somebody who is defeated 17 times, 18 times he will not come if he has little shame. But then he was such a person that 18 times he was coming and then fighting with Krishna. And we see that he was so adamant. Adamant people means you just can't change them. So they are with their opinion, they will live with that opinion, they will die with that opinion. But they will know that that's how it is. Prabhupada gives that story in Upadesha, that small stories Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives. In that he gives this one story that two people were fighting, which is best, scissor or the knife. So they both were fighting that everybody was propagating what he feels that is more perfect. And there was a big fight between which is better. So ultimately that fight ended in Mushti Yuddha, that they started catching each other's collar, punching. And then it so happened that that was happening just on the bank of river. So person who was advocating the scissor, he was little weaker. So other opponent punched him and then he threw him in the river only. So this fellow was now drowning, but still he was bringing out his hand and showing like this. Not victory, like I am right and that scissor is only best. So some people are there who live with their opinion and die with their opinion. They feel that that's how the world is. Jarasandha is very shining example of that. Not only this, he was preaching so nicely to Shishupal also. When Shishupal had an issue with Krishna, when Krishna came Kaundinyapur and took away Mother Rukmini, and then that was like a big depression for Shishupal. Because in the marriage day, to-be wife is stolen by not somebody, by his enemy only. That is too much. So he was so depressed. So generally when people are in depression, they need some counseling. So Jarasandha volunteered to counsel. Jarasandha was telling, don't worry, sabke saath hota hai. It happened to me also, but I did not lose. I always, hum honge kamyab ek din. So we should have that spirit of fighting. Don't worry, everything will be all right. He said, let us fight with Krishna. So this is how this Jarasandha is thinking Krishna to be an ordinary person, and then he feels that he is not telling that I am equal to Krishna. He is telling that Krishna is lesser than me, and that's how I cannot fight with him. It's like a height of arrogance. Text 32. Ayam tu vayasa tulyo nati sattvo na me samaha arjuno na bhaved yodha bhimas tulyabalo mama. As for this one, Arjuna, he is not as old as I, nor is he very strong. Since he is no match for me, he should not be the contender. Bhima, however, is as strong as I am. So he was calculating on his own who is capable to fight with me. Krishna he rejected, telling that you are a coward. Arjuna he rejected, that he is lesser in age. Bhima he thought that he is quite strong. Jai SriSriRadhaRasbihari ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaunitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So he accepted Bhima graciously, telling that this is a good match, that I'll fight with Bhima. So here we see that people, when they are in this world under ignorance, they always feel that the Lord, either he is a human being or he is a little extraordinary human being. But then, unless we understand from the pure devotees, like Srila Prabhupada, it is very difficult to exactly understand what is the tattva of Krishna. And that's how we see that so much of confusion all over the world about who is Krishna, who is Bhagavan, who is to be worshipped. So much of confusion, so much of fight. Although the scriptures very clearly mention, but because of one's own concoction, when different people, those who are influential, they propagate their own concoction as truth. And that's how people, they become blinded. So we see in 7th canto, where this description is going on, when Parikshit Maharaj is asking about why Lord becomes sometimes inimical towards the demon. So this is question asked by a common man who has no idea about what is the tattva of the Lord. So when he is asking that question, which is a challenging question, doubting Krishna's authority, Shukadeva Goswami was very pleased because he got a chance to speak about Krishna's glory. So with great pleasure he started speaking about Shri Rushir Vacha Sadhu Prishtam Maharaja Haresh Charitam Adbhutam Yad Bhagavatam Mahatmyam Bhagavat Bhaktivardhanam Giyate Paramam Punyam Rushi Bhir Naradadibhi Natva Krishnaya Munaye Kathayishye Hare Katham. So he says that Sadhu Prishtam Maharaja Haresh Charitam Adbhutam, that my dear king, you have asked a very perfect question. And Haresh Charita Adbhutam, Lord Hari's activities are so wonderful. Yad Bhagavat Mahatmyam Bhagavat Bhaktivardhanam, the whole pastimes of Krishna which are described in Srimad Bhagavatam, they are so potent, so powerful. What is the Mahatmya? Bhagavat Bhaktivardhanam. When we hear about the pastimes of the Lord, they are so purifying that practically it can purify the whole world. Giyate paramam punyam rushibhir naradadibhihi. Great personalities like Narad Muni also glorifies the Lord, Srimad Bhagavatam. Natva Krishnaya Munaye Kathayishyami Hare Katham. I pay my obeisances to Krishnaya Munaye. Krishnaya Munaye means his teacher. Who is his teacher? Vyasadeva. Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. So he says that I pay my obeisances to Vyasadeva and I start this Kathayishyami Hare Katham. And in the first step of this Hari Katha, he clarifies. The next verse, uh, ahead when he goes, he clarifies this very nicely. Ahead also it comes. The whole Bhagavatam, if you see whether it is Kunti Maharani, whether it is Narad Muni, whether it is Shukadeva Goswami, they are very keen to first clarify this. That first you understand Krishna, then talk about his activities. Otherwise, we jump on activities of Krishna without knowing who is Krishna, then there will be confusion. So here, Bhagavatam also says, Kritavan kila karmani saharamena keshavaha atimartyani bhagavan gudha kapatamanusha. Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, along with Balaram, played like a human being. And so, masked, he performed many superhuman activities. So here also, we see that, here he says that, Krutavan kila karmani saharamena keshava, that they perform different activities, but how they perform the activities? Atimartyani Bhagavan Gudha Kapatamanushaha. Although they are superhuman activities, but they performed as if they are Manushaha. They are as if like human being. Human being born, then he is trained, then he becomes grown up, then he takes responsibilities, and then he had some fights, and sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses, and then that's how the life goes. Sometimes he's happy, sometimes he's unhappy. So life goes on like that. So here he says that Kapata Manusha means when he is being in this world, he acts as if he is part of this world, although he is not part of this world. So, very nice example one devotee was giving, that when the Lord is there in this world and we are also in this world, it appears that we are also same only. The Lord also comes here, we also come here. Lord also has two hands, I also have two hands. Lord also have two legs, I also have two legs. And then he also does activities, I also do activity. He also fights sometimes, I also fight sometimes. So, all these things can be common, but then one thing, Krishna's supremacy cannot be sidelined just because there are some similarities. So just because sometimes for distributing some sweets on his birthday, Prime Minister may go to the jail. So he goes there for festival, not as a criminal. But then the criminals, those who have no idea, they may consider that, oh, today even Prime Minister has come here inside. And then he is also like us only. So have a nice day, like that. But then he doesn't understand that he comes by his own will and goes by his own will. So one devotee was giving this example that one may be locked inside the room, but then you know that there are two closing latches. One is outside, one is inside. So when we are human beings who are locked up inside a room, outside latch is closed, which is not in our hand. So he is also considered locked up. Sometimes the owner of the home may stay inside the home, and then he also locks from inside, which is fully under his control. Whenever he wants to open, he can open and go. So person who is locked up from outside and somebody who is having a lock from inside may appear same only, but they are not same. One is fully under control of the whole thing and one is helpless. So conditioned soul also lives in body, and when Lord comes, he also appears as if a human being only. He also lives in home, he also does so many activities, but that doesn't mean just because it looks similar, it's not similar. So Bhagavatam describes that we have to understand through the philosophical understanding the devotees how they are describing the Lord, and that's how even Narada Muni gives this caution to Pandavas. He says, Yuyam nruloke bata bhuri bhaga lokam punana manayobhiyanti yesham gruhana vasati iti sakshat gudham param brahma manushalingam. He says that, my dear Pandavas, you are very fortunate, but don't even consider the personality of Godhead who is staying with you. He, by relationship, he is your cousin brother. By age, he may be less than you. And he may be helping you in whatever you do. But then, please understand that he is Sakshat Gudham Param Brahma. That he is Param Brahma, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Manushalingam, he has accepted this form now for his activities, but should not be considered human being. So here we see that because of the very deep ignorance and the pride of Jarasandha, he is thinking that Krishna is not even equal to me. He is useless to be fought with. He said that if I fight with Krishna, my fame will go away, because that is not even worth fighting. And then he chose Bhima. He said that Bhima is good. And then next text, it says, 33rd. Ityuktva Bhima Senaya Pradaya Mahatim Gadam Dvitiyam Swayamadaya Nirjagama Purat Bahihi. He says, having said this, Jarasandha offered Bhimasena a huge club, took up another himself, and went outside the city. So previously, the fight used to happen very religiously. Religiously means when two kings are fighting, they will not attack the innocent civilians. Never in Vedic civilization it happened. So they will never attack innocent people. Nowadays, they just put bomb in main civil place only and then kill so many innocent people for no good reason, just to show that we are superior than you. But that is not Vedic culture. Now here, he took Bhima outside of the city, and then he said, we'll fight there, so that there is no disturbance to the actual civilian people. So he went out, and then Chakravarti Pad says that Jarasandha offered Bhimasena a huge club, and he took small club. So he was so proud that, you take all the facilities, anyway I am going to defeat you. So you take bigger club, I'll take small club, and then it is just a drama only. Just wait for a few days and then you will be defeated. So he was so proud that even Bhima, he considered that he is like bacha only, small kid. But now anyway he has come, so let me, for his pleasure, defeat him. So we see here that people who are in ignorance and proud, then they cannot understand what is the truth. Like nowadays also we find that many movies or many serials or many things apparently looking like spiritual, they come up in the market, and then they twist so much of truth. Like one devotee was asking this question, that we heard that Karna is more powerful than Arjuna, because uh, Arjuna was fighting with Karna, and then when Arjuna used to shoot arrow, Karna's uh, chariot used to go behind 10, 15 yards behind. And when Karna used to shoot arrow, then it used to go little few inches. So, and when this was happening, Krishna used to say, well done, Karna. So Arjuna asked that, my dear Krishna, I am doing 10, 15 times more job, and Karna is just putting just few inches, he is shaking our chariot. You are doing well done to him, you are not doing well done to me. And then Krishna said that you should understand that I am here on the chariot and Hanumanji is on the top, and still Karna is able to do this. So I just encourage him. So taking this out of context, many times people feel that Karna is more powerful than Arjuna. And then they have their own understandings. That's what exactly Jarasandha also was doing. Without taking account of the previous battles, previous history, he just took that one instance where Krishna made the match draw. He just walked off. And then he took that and telling that I defeated Krishna. But if you see and read Mahabharata properly, then we understand that if you see, even just for the sake of even to discuss, we can see how many times Arjuna and Karna faced each other in battle, where actually they fought, not just kind of. So, first time when Arjuna and Karna came, it was in the when Arjuna was showing the military skills and things like that, and then Karna comes. So there was no fight between them, but that is considered like he was cheated and things like that. And then he became Angaraj and Vagara Vagara. So that is given as if Arjuna was fearful that he will be lost now. And that's how even Dronacharya was fearful that Arjuna will become now second class. And that's how they draw the match. That Bhishma said this thing. But then we see that 3 times there was in Mahabharata, Karna and Arjuna had a face-to-face fight proper. First instance was in the Draupadi Swayamvar. That when Draupadi was to be married, Karna also was one of the participant. He also had the desire. Duryodhana also had come. Krishna, all the Pandavas also were there. So when Arjuna won Draupadi, there ensued a great fight. Generally in Kshatriya line, that is the case. No marriage goes without fight. That's like special rasa is there. And then here also there was a fight between those kings who were little disappointed, and Arjuna was there. So there was a fight. And in that fight, Karna was one of the major participant who was fighting against Arjuna. And then it was a fierce battle. Arjuna killed the brother of Karna in that battle. And Karna was like fire, very angry. But then Karna couldn't do anything with Arjuna. And then ultimately they decided that okay, stop. Auspicious things are going on. So we see that even if you have to see from the statistic point of view, it was a 0-1. Arjuna won that match. Second time that was faced, before Virat, there was a second match. When Pandavas were thrown out of the kingdom and they were in the forest, Duryodhana was so mischievous that he didn't want to leave any opportunity to minimize, joke around with Pandavas. So when he heard that Pandavas are staying in the forest, he thought to make them more, kind of pinch them, make them burn with more anger. He said that let us have a camp next to Pandavas and we'll show them our glory so that we will enjoy in front of them and celebrate they going to the forest. So then uh, their whole family went to picnic just in front of Pandavas only, so that Pandavas will burn in anger and things like that. But then we see that one Gandharva came and then he defeated Duryodhana and then he was taking. So that time Duryodhana was not alone. Everybody was there. Ashwatthama was there. Karna was there. Everybody was there. But that Chitrarath defeated everybody and then he was about to take Duryodhana. And then Arjuna came and defeated Gandharva and then shown to Kauravas that never do any mischief. And then he was released. So we see that Arjuna second time showed his power far superior than any Kauravas and their allies. Third time Karna had face to face with Arjuna is in Virata, when all the Kauravas along with their army had contesting with Arjuna. Arjuna was alone, even not with army. That time also he single-handedly defeated everybody. So, if you see the history for the sake of understanding the truth, history said something else. But then if you take things out of context and then blow it off the only truth, that is just ignorance only. So here also Jarasandha was taking out this one instance of Krishna leaving the battle without even understanding why he left, where he left. He considers that as his great victory. So here also this gives an understanding that how just by reading some portion of the scriptures we can never understand Krishna as he is. Very difficult. That is true to even every scripture, Vedas for that matter. Just by reading Vedas, it's very difficult to understand what is the purpose of the Vedas, unless it is not told. And that's why Mahajano yena gata sapantha, that there are so many scriptures, so many understandings, so many stories, but what is the conclusion that is told by Mahajanas, that is told by great devotees who have realized this understanding, realized this knowledge, and then when they speak, that makes some sense. So here, Jarasandha was so proud and ignorant about the capacity of the Lord, and then they started fighting. Text 34. Tata samaye khale virau sanyukta vitareetaram jagnutur rajakalpabhyam gadabhyam ranadurmadau. The two heroes thus began battling each other on the level fighting grounds outside the city. Maddened with the fury of combat, they struck each other with their lightning bolt like clubs. Next 35. Mandalani vichitrani savyam dakshiname vacha charito shushubhe yuddham natayorivar ranginoho. As they skillfully circled left and right like actors dancing on a stage, the fight presented a magnificent spectacle. Jarasandha and Bhima here demonstrate their expertise in the use of clubs. Thus, it can be understood that both fighters are fearless and steady even in the rage of battle. Text 36. Tatascha chata chata shabdo vajra nishpesha sinnibha gadayo kshiptayo rajan dantayo rivadantino. When Jarasandha's and Bhimasena's clubs loudly collided, O king, the sound was like the impact of the big tusk of two fighting elephants, or the crash of a thunderbolt in a flashing electric storm. So, huge sound was coming out as if some thunderbolt was being struck. Text 37. Tevai gade bhujavena nityatmane अन्योन्नतो संकटी पादकरो जत्रुम चरणी बभूवतरु पेत्य यथार्क शाखे संयुध्यतोर्द्विरदयोरिव दीप्तमन्वोः. They swung their clubs at each other with such speed and force that the clubs struck their shoulders, hips, feet, hands, thighs, and collarbones. The weapons were crushed and broken like branches of arka tree, with which two enraged elephants furiously attack each other. So they were so powerful that even the iron shastras, gada and many others, they were getting broken, they were getting into powder. So we can imagine the strength of Bhima and Jarasandha. So they were not like ordinary human beings fighting. So here we see that when the Gada Prahar was done, then the Gada used to become powder. That was the strength of these both heroes. Itham tayo tayor gador noviro kruddhau samushti bhira स्पर्शैरपिष्टां शब्दस्तयो प्रहरतोरि भयोरिवासिन् निर्घातव्रज पुरुषस्तलताडनोत्थः. Their clubs thus ruined, those great heroes among men angrily pummeled each other with their iron hard fists. As they slapped each other, the sounds resembled the crash of elephants colliding or harsh thunderclaps. Text 39. Tayorevam praharato samashiksha balo jaso nirvishesha abhyuddham khina javayor nupa. As they thus fought, this contest between opponents of equal training, strength and stamina reached no conclusion, and so they kept on fighting, O king, without any let up. Some acharyas include the following two verses in the text of this chapter, and Srila Prabhupada also has translated them in Krishna. So Prabhupada writes here, thus, O king, they continued to fight for 27 days. At the end of each day's fighting, both lived at night as friend in Jarasandha's palace. Then on the 28th day, O king, Vrakodara Bhima told his maternal cousin, Madhava, I cannot defeat Jarasandha in battle. So, after 27 days of battle, no conclusion was there. Because both were so powerful, so skilled in mace fighting, that both were fighting, no conclusion. Nobody was less than any other opponent. So when that fighting was going on for days, weeks, now it was 27th day, nothing happened. At the end of the 27th day, Bhima told that if I have to speak frankly, I have to tell that it's not a cup of, like it's not in my strength to fight and defeat this. So, then the question may come that why so many days they are fighting. And then at the end of that 27th day, Krishna gave a hint to Bhima that how to kill Jarasandha. And then that comes ahead. Text 40. Shatro janma mriti vidvan jivitam cha jarakritam parthamapyayayan svena teja sachintya yad harihi. Lord Krishna knew the secret of his enemy Jarasandha's birth and death, and also how he had been given life by the demoness Jara. Considering all this, Lord Krishna imparted his special power to Bhima. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes that Lord Krishna knew the mystery of the birth of Jarasandha. Jarasandha was born in two different parts from two different mothers. When his father saw that the baby was useless, he threw the two parts in the forest, where they were later found by a black-hearted witch named Jara. She managed to join the two parts of the baby from top to bottom. Knowing this, Lord Krishna therefore also knew how to kill him. So on the 28th day, Krishna released the secret that this is how Jarasandha can be killed. Last 27 days, Krishna did not say anything. He was just waiting. Waiting for what? The fight was going on so nicely, and then everybody was enjoying it. And so we see here that that's how the Lord reciprocates with his devotees. Lord will test and make us act till last end, before giving his mercy, before resolving the fight. This is how generally the Lord does. So here also we see whole first chapter of Bhagavad-gita, Krishna did not speak even any word. And neither he was planning to speak unless Arjuna humbled himself, say now, Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. Then Krishna said, okay, now you have come to right conclusion. Now take this. And then he gave Bhagavad-gita. Here also for 27 days they were fighting nicely. Then Bhima came and he said that, please help. Krishna said, okay, take it. And then Krishna gave him the idea how to. So here it says that Lord Krishna imparted his special power to Bhima. So we see here that the fighting with opposing elements can be done very effectively only when Krishna gives us strength. Now we see that whenever Prabhupada used to say that preaching Krishna consciousness in material world, that is like raging a war against Maya. It's not, it is like 10,000 soldiers are there, opponent, and we are alone. Where is the question of any winning? So Maya is very powerful. Krishna personally says that Mama Maya Duratyaya. That Krishna says that this Maya is very powerful. Somebody may say, why so powerful? Because Krishna clarifies, she is very powerful. Why? Because he is Mama Maya, he is my energy. So, because she is my energy, she is powerful. And she can defeat anybody. But then, Krishna doesn't make us hopeless, helpless, by telling that nothing can be done, because she is too powerful than you. Next line only Krishna gives the secret also. Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So he tells how difficult it is to cross over Maya. At the same time, he gives secret how to cross over Maya also. That's his mercy. One, he educates us how difficult it is, and then in the end he gives secret also, how to defeat it. So he says, those who surrender to me, then it becomes very easy. So here also we see that when Bhima told that difficult for me, then Krishna said, okay, let us do this and then end the battle. So we see here that unless we surrender to Krishna, Maya can never be overcome. Fighting with Maya is not the way by which we can defeat Maya. So that is a lifetime battle. It's not some 1 year battle, 2 year battle, 3 year battle, 10 years battle. We have to fight with Maya. Prak Sharir Vimokshanat. When Arjuna asked Krishna that how long I have to fight, Krishna said, till you leave this body. He didn't say that, just wait for a few days. I'll do something for you. Don't worry. Krishna very frankly told, I am Supreme Lord, but don't think that I will give you some concession and then 2-3 days only I'll just finish everything and then peacefully you can. Krishna doesn't like his devotees to be in peace. Krishna wants that we struggle. So, if Krishna wants us to struggle, we should be happy to struggle. So, we'll happily struggle Krishna. Krishna, whenever you want to give your mercy, I am okay. Till that point, I'll keep struggling for your pleasure and helping others. So, that's how Krishna acts and reciprocates with his devotees. So, when Krishna sees that now it is like we have exhausted ourselves, we have really done good job, then Krishna comes and picks up. So, here also the same thing happens. Krishna shows his mercy to tired and then almost hopeless condition of Bhima. He says that don't worry, take this. And then he gives so here he says that Lord Krishna imparted his special power to Bhima to defeat. So that's how we see that unless we become attached to Krishna, unless we make ourselves understand what is the purpose of my coming to Krishna consciousness, we can never defeat Maya. That's how one of the disciples of Prabhupada was asking this question to Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, he said, why Maya is so powerful? We are trying so best. We are desiring to advance in Krishna consciousness. We are trying also. Why Maya is so powerful? So Prabhupada asked another question as an answer. And we can see that that's how the acharyas, they speak very less, but then that is like a Veda Vak. So Prabhupada, he didn't go on telling about, describing things like that. So Prabhupada said, you are asking that why Maya is strong. He said, why your purpose is so weak? Why your desire is weak? Why for the thing which you are fighting, if that is very weak, then Maya appears very strong. That's how we see that when we lose track of the goal, then the pebbles on the feet start pricking more. It's like that. So here, we pray to Srila Prabhupada, pray to Lord, that we never deviate from our purpose of giving ourselves in the service of Krishna. Then Krishna will come and help. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it so easy. Nacho gao bhakta sange karo sankirtan, that we have to just come together, chant, dance, take prasad. So, very easy way Krishna has made it. We just need association of devotees, and that is what the special empowerment Krishna provides, so that we all can take that advantage and fight. And we keep fighting, and Krishna gives the solution in the end. So today, in this 10th shlokas, we saw that how Jarasandha was so so arrogant to not understand his position. He was thinking that Krishna is lesser than him because he was defeated. Although 17 times he was defeated by Krishna, mercifully left alive. And 18th time Krishna did not fight only, he just left. So we see that as Maya Javanika Channam Adnya Dhokshajam Avyayam Na Lakshase Mudha Drusha Nato Natya Dharo Yatha. It becomes very difficult for common man to see Krishna because Maya is there. That Maya makes Krishna practically covered of his divine potencies. So here also we see the same thing. And then we saw how the both were fighting, but ultimately, unless Krishna came to help, Bhima could not have done it on his own strength. So Krishna came and helped his hard-working devotee. Like that. So we'll end here. Any comments?
हरे कृष्ण। दो कमेंट है, संक्षेप में सुनाता हूँ। पहला कमेंट यह है कि जब अर्जुन और कर्ण का युद्ध हो रहा था तो अर्जुन ने बाण मारा तो कर्ण का रथ काफ़ी पीछे चला गया, और इसके बाद कर्ण ने एक बाण मारा तो अर्जुन का जो रथ है वो जगह पे किंचित हिल गया। तब भगवान श्री कृष्ण बोले धन्य कर्ण, वाह कर्ण। तो अर्जुन बोला प्रभु मैं बाण मारने पर इसका रथ बहुत पीछे गया, तब आप कुछ बोले नहीं, और इसके बाण से मेरा रथ थोड़ा हिल गया तो आप बहुत बोल रहे, उससे वाह वाह कर रहे हैं। प्रभु बताए तेरे रथ पर स्वर्ग मृत्यु पाताल त्रिभुवन का भार देकर मैं बैठा हूँ और वायुपुत्र हनुमान बैठे हुए हैं, इसलिए ये विजय रथ को थोड़ा किंचित हिलाना ये असामान्य काम है। ये कैसा है? अद्भुत घटना है। दूसरे कमेंट यह है, जो गर्गऋषि थे, पुरोहित थे यादवों के, तो किसी यादव ने उनको एक कन्या दी थी और विवाह कराए थे। फिर बहुत समय गया, उनको कोई बालक आया नहीं, तो ये लोग उन हंसी मजाक उड़ाए, बोले इनको बालक नहीं आता है, ऐसा है वैसा है। तो इसका गर्गऋषि को बहुत गुस्सा आया। फिर वो चले गए हिमालय में, तपस्या किया। तब भगवान शिव जी प्रसन्न हुए, उन्होंने बोला वरदान पूछो। उन्होंने कहा प्रभु ऐसा बालक मुझे दो कि सारे यादवों को पराभव कर सकता है और उसका राज्य छीन सकता है। तब वो बोला, उन्होंने बताया कोई म्लेच्छ श्री म्लेच्छ राजा आएगा अब तपस्या करते समय, और उस समय श्रृंगार करके आपके पास भेजेगा, और उससे आप सहवास करने से जो बालक पैदा होगा वो जो है बहुत बलवान होगा और राज्य छीन सकता है युद्ध करके। तो जब काल्यवन 17 बार पराजित हुआ तो उसके बाद में नारद ऋषि बताया जरासंध को कि आप उसका सहायता ले लो। तो काल्यवन जब आया, यह 23 अक्षौहिणी सेना इसकी थी पहले, और बाद में 3 करोड़ म्लेच्छ सेनाओं लेकर आया था। तो प्रभु अपने शिव जी का मान रखने के लिए उन्होंने बिना युद्ध किए ही वो चले गए और मुचकुंद विवर में लेकर जैसे अपना शाल उनके ऊपर डाला और ये सोचा कि भगवान ही सो रहे हैं उधर, तो उन्होंने लात मारी तो तुरंत ही जैसे नींद से उठे तो उनके दृष्टि मात्र से प्रलय अग्नि प्रकट हुआ और काले वन जलकर भस्म हुआ।
थैंक यू।
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। ओके, किसी का कोई कमेंट? प्रश्न? यस।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी। एक प्रश्न था पांडवों के बारे में। माय क्वेश्चन इज टू यू इज ऑनलाइन में। If Arjuna was a good devotee and friend of Krishna and he's listened Bhagavad-gita from Krishna himself, why his gati was the Swarga? Why he was going to heavenly planets with his brother's dog and his wife?
Okay. So this was after they departed. So this also comes in Mahabharata, that after the departure of Pandavas, they went to heavenly planet. So their going to heavenly planet is not like some pious person going to heavenly planet. They have gone there to give association in heavenly planet. But then we understand that they didn't stay in heavenly planet. They proceeded to the spiritual world. So just going there doesn't make the principle wrong. So that's how the thing is, that who is telling the story makes lot of difference. So that's how we have to hear from authentic sources and the interpretation of that from the authentic sources. For example, pure devotee is leaving the body and then ascending to the spiritual world. If you ask a doctor to describe the whole process, he will say that he was having a kidney failure, he was having some this issue, that issue. We tried our best, but we helplessly he died. That much only he can tell. So, but if you ask a devotee, then he will say it was a glorious departure. He went to spiritual world. So now, so much of difference is there as a helpless clinical death and glorious ascending to spiritual world. So many times in different scriptures, different angles are given. But then we understand the highest angle is devotional understanding, like that. Okay, so we'll end here.
Thank
Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki.